Great. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning business chat. And we do these chats every Thursday morning to just, share tips and best practices and answer business related questions. Monday's our product chat where we get to tell, believe it or not, miracle stories with our products. And now we get to tell, business stories. So, during these calls, I always love to hear stories from those of you that maybe had successfully enrolled a new distributor or you hit a major milestone yourself, because we kind of have one of our battle cries is success leaves clues, and we like to share those clues on calls like this. It's a very open format. As long as the lines are quiet, I'll leave them all unmuted. Typically, there's everybody's got there's always one in every group that's got some background noise and doing the dishes, right? And if that happens, I'll mute the lines and you can just unmute yourself at any time. So I just wanted to start out. I just got off a really wonderful three-way call with a new prospect as someone's got a lot of background in the industry. By the way, Rob and I our most favorite thing is doing three-way calls with you folks, okay? So when you have, a serious leader, it's not when you got somebody that's got a sore elbow, okay? But for me, I'm better off for you with people that have some serious business interest, and Robin is good for business and product, and I can do product and she can do business, so we overlap a lot. But I just wanted to, just put out a call that three-way calls are so powerful. And we just got off a very powerful three-way call with a woman that's a 20 plus year networking successful veteran. And it sounds like she feels like she's found home with LifeWave. And was a consultant to the industry, consulted with over 300 companies, really knows the game we're in, and knows the difference between the field side and the corporate side. And she's looking for a company to join the field side, and that could very well be us. So you may be hearing her name in the not too far distant future, but I just wanted to put that out as a success story. I didn't know her. It was somebody we enrolled, and somebody they enrolled, that somebody they enrolled, that somebody they enrolled. This is somebody, if she joins, she'll probably be on our 5th, 6th, or 7th level, which the beauty of a binary, it doesn't matter because her volume still counts the same. So I'm really excited about that. And I just want to put a pitch in there for three-way calling, but does anybody have a recent success story you'd like to share, or a business question you'd like to ask?
If you raise your hand, it makes it easier.
And Doug's got your hand up, so go ahead, Doug.
Okay, great. I muted. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, so I've been just sort of analyzing my business. I'm approaching this.
Mike here.
We lost you for a minute there, Doug. Now you're muted again. Unmute.
Right, I didn't want to talk over Mike.
Oh no.
It's okay. I haven't found my hand at the bottom, so.
Okay. Great. So I'm just finishing 6 months of my business, and I'm sort of evaluating where I've been successful and where I haven't. And I've brought in some really good people, and people are renewing and buying patches and loving the patches. But where I haven't been successful, at least in my opinion, is in converting people to managers and directors. And so I was wondering if there was a place or a separate call, or if someone could either on this call talk about what are some of the things that other people are doing that are having a much higher percentage converting people into managers, because that's really the future. If you're going to make $10,000 to $30,000 a month, you have to have managers. And so, yeah, so that's my question is, if there's, and I'd be happy to have a separate call if people were interested in talking about that topic, business people. But I'm opening it. I'd love to get some suggestions about that.
Beautiful. I've got some ideas, but I'd rather open it up to the group and some of your fellow, community members who'd like to. Does anybody have any thoughts or ideas they'd like to share with Doug regarding that, the conversion of customers to distributors and distributors to manager?
If they don't like that, I have another one.
I have a thought.
Yeah. Great. Go ahead,
Morning.
Michelle.
Hey, Doug. Just, learning from our wonderful leaders, Robin and Gregory, and especially Robin has mentioned many times, and I think other leaders have mentioned that we need to find out what they want. And I'm sure you're doing this, Doug. I don't mean to,
No, it's fine.
say something that might be obvious, but when I sign people up, I always ask the question, are you someone who shares? Are you someone that would share if you're excited about a movie or a restaurant or a book or whatever? Are you the type that would share? And that's a good start. And a lot of people are like, oh, I have a lot of people in my life I would like to share. So then obviously they go to be a distributor rather than a customer. And then as far as making managers, Doug, my experience is, again, leaning in and saying, how far do you want to go? What are your goals? Do you want to just pay for your product? Do you want part-time, full-time, or a dream income? So I think it's a lot about just leaning in and seeing what your people want.
Okay, that's
true.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Yeah. So one of the things what I'm seeing is I'm on 3 to 5 calls a week. And I think, I know even with myself, if I'm not on the calls, I'm not engaged, I tend to sort of forget how great everything is. And what I'm not doing is I've got some people in my team, they're business owners. They've been involved in, other organizations where they've enrolled a lot of people, but I'm not getting them plugged in. I'm just not being successful getting them plugged in because I think the system, particularly these calls, Jason's call on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. It's a great way for me to start the weekend. Also, it's a great, so anyway, that's great. I appreciate that. Anything else?
I'll jump in, Doug.
Before you do, Robin, I'm going to go ahead and mute all the lines, key the background. And Doug, if you and Robin could unmute yourself.
Okay, Doug, we have a wonderful coaching program called a Grow Model. And in our business, as I've been trained by my mentor, who's up in the next box to you on the screen, our job is to get them in, keep them in, and move them along. And the grow process is something that we do with a lot of people on a regular basis, typically monthly. And it's doing what Michelle talked about is, finding out where they're at, where they want to be, let's say in the next month, and take a look at options and opportunities to get there, and then specific action items. And like you said, being plugged in is an action item, and it does make a difference when people can feel the energy of what's going on here. And the company's growing 13% month over month or something like that. I mean, this is an ideal opportunity for people. And when I started, honestly, I knew nothing. I had no training. I had no support. I was in another company where I met Gregory, but I was in, I didn't know what I was doing. And I just went to my favorite people and said, I'm about to take the ride of my life, and I want to share it with you. Because the people that get engaged and can feel the energy of what we have here and hear the stories of how lives are changing, it will absolutely attract people to want to share more. When people share more, they're going to end up going through the ranks. So, and I'm offering to do a grow session for you, so you know what it is. And then you could do that with your people because it's very duplicatable.
Right.
Okay?
I'd really appreciate that. And I've got some people, also the 3-way, I've been waiting for the right business people to do a 3-way with you guys. And I appreciate that distinction about business people, because I'm waiting for, someone who's really going to step up, who, and then, because that would be really helpful for me to do one full 3-way with you. So
well, I'm talking about a coaching session with you.
Well, first we're going to do that right away. Yes.
Okay.
Because I control that. I'll reach out to you and set that up.
Okay, great.
Just a couple of really quick follow-up. Can you, since you're unmuted, can you talk about the woman that Ryan has mentioned that might be joining the corporate team?
Let's wait
in that direction.
Wait on that.
Before we go in that direction, and maybe we'll wait on that, I have 3 very specific suggestions for you and everybody on the call.
Great. Okay.
Number 1, and you're doing it, you need to get your people doing it, plugging into the system, our success system, plugging into the calls. Number 2 is falling in love with the process. And that's the DMO, the daily method of operation. And just need people, just because they signed an application, they joined, doesn't mean they're plugged in or doing the business. So you need people to plug into the success system, commit to fall in love with the process, the daily method of operation. And then you as a leader need to check in with them and measure results. How are we doing? You need to build that accountability loop. And the results that we're talking about, again, keeping it simple, how many people did you get to watch the video yesterday? Or did you get anybody to watch a video yesterday? Did your Intouch app, did you get a beep? You know, and if they didn't get a beep, it's probably because they didn't send an invitation, right? And that's doing the daily method of operation. So when you're checking in with the people, and maybe I'll delineate the difference between it, from my perspective, difference between follow up. You follow up with people until they make a decision to join, and then you follow through to keep them going. And so it's really important you follow through with the people you're doing, and not too much. It's a volunteer army. It's not like, you know, you've owned your businesses, I've owned mine. And when you own a business, you're signing their paycheck. If they don't do what they're supposed to do, they don't get any more paychecks.
Right.
You know? But in network marketing, I often say your better experience would be the leader of a Cub Scout troop than an owner of a business. Because, you know, because that's kind of what it's like. But you need to follow through. Hey, Mikey, how you doing with that little puzzle? How you doing with that little car you're making? You know, it's that kind of thing. So following through with your people and just checking for results. And if they've got no results, then you can go back in and get some diagnostics. Well, how many people did you send an invitation to? Well, none this week. Well, maybe that's why no one's watched the video this week, you know? And then, you know, probably the last piece of that puzzle is you work with the willing. You know, your time's so valuable. If people are not willing to plug in, fall in love with the process, and start getting people to watch the video, they're really not in the business. They might be active community members. They might be on all the calls, and they might, you know, they might be in love with the products, but if they're not out there talking to people, as Judy Daniel likes to say, just keep patching, you know, sending invitations, patching people. If you're in physical proximity, a lot of people are patching. Some of the fastest growing groups, you know, in the country are actively patching people, you know, simultaneous. And then we're now more and more people are using the Intouch app to just get people to watch the video. So that's kind of my points. And I think doing a grow session with Robin, and that's kind of after you present the business, someone joins, you need to do a regular check-in. And, you know, and so we suggest people do that leaders do a monthly grow session. It's kind of a mentoring session where you're checking their goals, you're checking their reality, you're checking their obstacles and opportunities, and you're helping them develop a way forward. GROW, goals, reality, you know, opportunities, and way forward. And you do that once a month. Well, hey, last month we got together, or with some people, you might do it once a week. And they don't even know you're doing it, but you're just going through that routine. Hey, how you doing? You know, it's been a month now, and I know our original goal was this. And that's why I love what you were saying, Michelle, is finding out what they want out of the business. It's really important to know that, and then help them get it and let them know what they need to do to get it. So that I took more time than I thought I would, but I hope that was helpful for you and everybody else.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So one of the things I think for me is that I'm bringing everybody in as a business owner, as a distributor, because I'm building a team, and I want all of their volume to help everybody. Whereas there's really disincentive from what I see, and maybe I'm wrong, but in the compensation plan where if I bring in 20 customers, none of that volume helps the people that I'm bringing in that are really stepping up, you know, trying to make a go of it. So I don't bring anybody in as a customer.
Okay, so
that volume helps your upline, but it doesn't help the people you've enrolled.
Upline's already making money, right?
So Doug, one of the things that's really important, and this is for everyone, is our job is to do what's best for them, not for us. And yes, it's great if they're in your tree and you get the volume, but if people are started in a place that's not in their best interest, if someone says, you know, I qualify, and if you can listen to Gregory's trainings on Saturday morning, Gregory and Judy, about, you know, enrolling, It's asking them what they want. Like Michelle said, are you going to be, is this just for yourself? Or are you going to be sharing? And if they say just for myself, then I would talk about the customer program and I'd explain it to them. I'd say, if down the road, if you have great results, would you be sharing? I say, well, if it works as good as I'm hearing, well, yeah, of course. So then they might be best off starting as a distributor. So really qualify them before you enroll them, because that customer, we have so many customers that are so glad they started there and then they upgrade to a distributor. But the way we start people is the beginning of their training. Okay.
Yep. Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Mike, I see. Was that good, Doug? Are we good for now? And we'll set up a grow session with Robin or I.
Appreciate it. That's great. It's fun to do that. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful. And Mike, you had your hand up. Did you have something you want to say? If not, I'm open to anyone else who wants to chime in with a suggestion, thought, or question.
Robin, is there a chance that we could clone that grow session you're going to do for Doug and maybe just gather a few of our people who we think would really be receptive to that, and just have a small group so we can manage it, the questions? Oh, you're on mute.
Muted, Robin. You're muted.
Okay. So Gregory, how do you think maybe we should create a training on grow for everybody? And then it's something
we could get it loaded. We have a form. We have a grow session.
Yeah, we'll get you the form. Literally, when you go through it, it's duplicatable for everyone. That's why, it's a program that I used to be involved in the corporate world. Gregory came to the event. He said, this is perfect for our business. Get them in, keep them in, move them along. And that's what it does. It grows people, and it moves you further toward where you want to go. So does anyone who's had a grow session want to say anything about it?
I would.
Yes.
They're amazing.
Mm.
They're amazing in the way that it helps you focus and see things that you may not have seen from a different perspective. And so then that opens up the energy for you moving forward, perhaps in a different way than you thought, but it brings in so many possibilities.
Beautiful. Thank you. Who's that speaking?
Elise or E-Love.
Hello, E-Love. Elise, thank you so much for the sharing.
We met in Sarasota.
The form is in Nitty Gritty, Jennifer said.
Oh, nice.
And yeah.
So that would be in the resource section, I guess, of Nitty Gritty.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what we typically do is work with, our leaders, and then you guys duplicate down in your teams. So Anne-Marie, let's have a visit, you and I, okay?
I would love it.
Okay, great.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
I've got a couple of distributors that are awesome and they're really super busy, and we're all kind of new, like a few weeks in as distributors. And what I'm finding is that they're not going to nitty gritty. We've given them all the instructions and they're just doing things randomly without checking in.
Okay. So, Gregory, you want me to handle that, or do you want to?
Let me address that. My suggestion, E-Love, and I love that name, beautiful, is simplify it and just teach them the DMO. Get the single page daily method of operation sheet and say, this is how the business works. And if you can just get people to do that, they can almost forget about everything else. Falling forward, they'll end up with a business and they'll naturally need and want to learn some of the other things. But you don't need to learn and know very much. You need to learn how to use the Intouch app, and you need to be reach out and patch someone, as the saying goes, right? So it could be that simple. So if people don't want to engage, they don't want to go online, they don't want to read the daily, read the Getting Started guide, just put the daily method of operation sheet in front of them, say, this is how the business works. And let's talk about this. So it's that simple.
I'm laughing because I did send it. And it's like they're not reading the emails, they're not reading the attachments, they're not reading. I put it in the email body and as an attachment.
Well, what this says to me is they're not engaged. I would take the time really to, at least to find out what you want to accomplish with this. Is this for yourself? Are you wanting to share? Are you interested, like Michelle said, in, covering your patches or having a part-time or, serious income? Why did you start? Even though you're not going to be going through the whole getting started program, but it's really important because our job is to help people get what they want. And if we don't know what we want, it's hard to support them. And the reason they're not reading or watching anything is, there's not a strong desire there to do anything. So it's a journey, and I would just take the time to say, help me understand. You've got the patches. Was this for yourself, or did you want to share, and are you interested in income? And if you are, we've got a great plan, and I'd love to walk you through it.
And Robin, maybe you could address just briefly how to do a casual belief assessment and how important that is to find out. They just may need more information to be more committed and more inspired, or it may just not fit into their schedule and their lifestyle right now.
Yeah. Well, they're patching, they're signing people up.
Oh, good.
They're just ignoring all of the teachings, the daily method. They're kind of circumnavigating it. So one of my distributors, I just signed her up Thursday, and I said to her, let's sign up your person on the same day so we can teach you how to do it. Wasn't possible. So then her person ended up signing up on her own and signed up as a distributor instead of a customer. So now I'm going to change that around, but it's like, okay, we need to backtrack a little. They're going ahead patching people all over the place.
Okay. So
let me address that. Let me address that real quickly.
Go ahead.
I think the moment someone signs up and becomes a distributor, in those short moments following thereafter, there's a certain malleability of consciousness, openness to input. And you need to let people know their job is twofold. It's getting people in, and then it's training them. Sounds like they're going out and patching, which is great, and they will get people in, but it's only fulfilling half the obligation. And it's a sacred trust and responsibility to help someone get started right. And I like to say, don't bother, I use the law of the farm. Don't sow seeds unless you're going to water. Don't sign people up unless you're going to support and train them, because it's like throwing mud on the wall. Some of it will stick, but most of it won't. So they need to recognize their job begins when you enroll somebody. Unlike direct sales, it's your job ends when you close a sale. In network marketing, your job begins when you open the relationship. And that might just be something that you may need to impart to them on the front end before they get going, how important it is to learn the basic method of operation, and when they sign somebody up, to teach that basic method of operation.
Okay.
Hey. There's another piece to that I would add. I want to find out, first of all, do they have any experience in our profession in network marketing?
Yes.
Okay, so then
we've been on calls with Connie. So beautiful. When I bring someone in, I have them do a call together with Connie so I can learn. And so they're taken through correctly, Great. Hopefully.
Okay. Good. So then the next question I'd ask is, are you interested in, being the most effective you can be in developing an income from this? Because they're patching, they're obviously sharing, and they're making money, and they're doing it the hard way. That they're not duplicatable by doing what they're doing. So I want to find out what they really want, because from that place, if they really want to be as effective as possible, then and they know network marketing, they know that simplicity and duplication equals success, we've got a success system. So again, it's always going back to what are they trying to accomplish? Maybe they just want to patch people, and have fun. but maybe they want an income and they want to do the best they possibly can, then they understand the power of a system if they've been in networking. Some people have been in networking and still don't understand it. And I always revert back to Darren Hardy under the Distributor tab in Nitty Gritty. If everyone on this call has not listened to Darren Hardy yet, please listen for yourself and for anyone who is new or has never been successful in network marketing, because people have been in it. I don't know their level of success. And that would be another thing I'd want to know. Because
one last thing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
One last thing I'll throw out. In my career, I have on occasion recruited incredible recruiters that don't train anybody, but they recruit a lot of people. And I've gone in and trained their people for them. Says, you go recruit and I'll train them. Right. I love recruiters, but, and so many people, and hopefully most people get good at recruiting and training. That's the ideal scenario. But some people they just want to go spread the word and move on to the next one. And that's okay, because you can fill the gap, maybe, making a connection between them and making sure those new people have the right understanding and guidelines. Really good questions, really good subject matter this morning. Thank you.
Hey, Gregory.
Thank you.
It's Helen.
Yeah, Helen.
Oh, so, I had tried some other network marketing companies and I wasn't successful because the person who brought me in wasn't successful. They didn't know, how to teach me right. One day I figured it out, went to people who knew what they were doing. So it's like, you have to be teachable and you have to find the right teacher or mentor, right? But I like to, when I sign someone up and I find their why and I know they want to go for it, just remind people that any job that you're going to take, you needed training. Some you need college, some it's a training school, some it's on-job training, whatever. So then you just say it's like a curriculum at a college. You have to commit to it. You don't get the degree unless you show up. And here's where you show up. And so then you just take them to, through the getting started. And here's all the meetings. And, I always look for who's showing up on my team, because when you see who's showing up, those are the ones you're going to work with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So,
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's, are you teachable? And the other key thing is that, the thing you need to do is become a manager and make managers. So you're looking for who wants to be a manager. Who wants to be a manager? Raise your hand, right? And then that's the person you work with. So there you go.
Well, we're almost to the bottom of the hour. This has been a juicy call, and I love these calls because no telling what we're going to cover, and we're here for you for that reason. So any final comments or questions? Jennifer, you had your hand up. You want to say something? Well, you put your hand down, so maybe you didn't want to.
I think Jennifer was clapping. She was doing that.
Oh, that was a clap. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Well, great.
I have just one quick question.
Yeah,
we had mentioned on another call about doing a training on the, not iDecide, but on the app, the Intouch. And I've heard that they're putting it on steroids. Have you heard it? Can you talk a little bit about the changes to Intouch and also where we are with a potential training?
Yeah, where we are with the training with Intouch, it's already been done and it's in there. And if you just up in the top left corner, you see those 3 little hash marks, click on it, and that opens up the menu and just go to training. And there's 3 or 4 training videos in there on how to effectively use the app. Okay. The next step, what we're going to have with the app at some point in the future, I'm not sure if it's, when, no commitment as to when, but there's going to be a button you can push. When you push share, you'll be able to push send, and the system will automatically send them a sample, a physical sample at a highly reduced price, much lower than you could do it, packaged in a beautiful 4-color brochure envelope, personalized from you. And as soon as the sample goes out, you'll get a notice, they'll get a notice. As soon as the sample is received, you'll get a notice, they'll get a notice. And with your notice that they received a sample, it's going to give you a bullet, say, call and ask these questions. Here, giving people tips what to do. The goal is, just imagine whenever you sign up a new distributor, when they first go to their back office, they have 3 preloaded samples in their Intouch system for free, part of the $25 enrollment fee. And maybe when you join as a silver, maybe you'll get 10 samples. So we're really going to get people into a sampling mode, an automated sampling mode, and it's going to be very, very powerful. That's the next step. And by the way, the Intouch app is being used by some very large, successful network marketing companies that are doing that. In fact, the company that Ryan Anderson came from, he brought the Intouch app to that company, and they were flatlined at 400 million a year. Not a bad place to be flatlined, right? 400 million a year. But after he introduced the Intouch app, in the next year and a half, they grew to 520 or 540 million. And the app was just exploding their business. So I promise that'll be coming. There's just, they're working out the kinks to get the final revisions done for the preferred customer program. Once that's done, that'll be incorporated into the app. So there'll be a dual pathway for your prospects to either join as a customer or a distributor.
And honey, tell them the conversions.
Well, I know John Presky, the owner and developer of Intouch, and he said that the company that Ryan was with was experiencing a 35 to 37% conversion of everybody that received the sample.
Wow.
And he thinks our conversion will be better because we have better products.
Awesome. Thanks for the update.
Yeah, that's a good question. Thank you. Now Mike's got his hand up for a farewell comment or question. Hey, Mike. Or are you clapping? Okay. You're muted if you're trying to say something.
Oh, he took his hand down, honey.
Okay. Well, good. Well, this was a juicy call. God bless you all. Happy Thursday. I'll be back on a Saturday morning call with Judy Daniel talking about the enrollment process, how to get people started right.
We have the Donna Blevins training is on Saturday. It's $11. Right.
Okay, no, I did.
Yeah, Mike, you're trying to talk. Go ahead.
Unmute, Mike.
You're muted again.
And frozen.
Yeah. I guess your connection must be bad, Mike, because yeah, in fact, he's gone.
Robin, I have a quick question about Donna Blevins.
Yes.
Is she doing this the training this Saturday, and then it's just a replay next Saturday, or 2 live trainings?
It's the same content, but they come out different because of the interaction with the participants. So you're welcome to come to both or go to one. Okay. But if you're ready for a mindset change in your life around any area of your life, personal or professional, she's going to give a tool that literally in 4 minutes or less, things can change. And it's $11. So I highly recommend everybody and invite your teams, the registration link, and then I'll move it and post something else. But I highly, if you didn't watch the training, it was amazing. If David's webinar yesterday was very, very important on detoxification. He went into, I took pages of notes. And I'm so grateful because we live in a toxic world. Every autopsy they do, there's toxins in all of us, in every organ. And he talks about how to detox heavy metals, plastics, herbicides, pesticides, fungus, parasites. So just know that it's a really, really important thing for your health now and in the future.
And one more thing about Donna Blevins.
Yes.
This is appropriate for friends, family. This is not a LifeWave training. It'd be appropriate for anybody you love and care for.
Where do we get the details on this? I'm out to lunch on this.
In the Facebook group.
It was, Kay, it was in the newsletter too.
Oh, in the newsletter.
Thank you. It was in the newsletter, this training that's coming up?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Yes. And that'll be 1 hour after we start at 9 o'clock Mountain. Judy and I are doing the training, distributor training. Then at 10 o'clock Mountain, it'll be the Donna Blevins training starting. And as Robin said, there are 2 live trainings. You can attend both of them or one of them for the same $11.
Beautiful.
And it's 2 hours.
Oh, her training is 2 hours, Robin?
Yes, yes, yes. It's 12 to 2 Eastern, convert to your own time zone. Yeah. Okay.
Robin, do you know if that will be recorded and available?
I don't know. I can find out.
Because we have people in Australia who would love to, maybe purchase it. You know what I mean? And then have it later. So let me know. Okay.
I will send a message to her right now. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks everyone. Aloha.
Thank you.
Bye everyone.
Adios.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Lots to learn.